Airport lounges have become a popular way to escape the chaos and await your flight in style. Unfortunately, this also means many lounges have faced overcrowding issues, and now they're tightening access. In this video, I'm diving into the world of airport lounges. I'll go through all the ways that you can get access to airport lounges, including some quick entry hacks that will open the doors to these exclusive spaces. We'll also discuss some of the changes being made, how to get around them when you can, and some alternatives to lounges when you can't. Plus, if you're flying on a business class itinerary that you booked with miles, I will share the one thing that you need to know that just might leave you out in the cold. And yes, as usual, I speak from experience. Don't be me, watch this video. Let's do this. Airport lounges are more than just a place to sit away from the crowded terminal. They offer a range of amenities designed to make your travel experience way more enjoyable. So, what are these amenities? Let's go through what you can expect. First and foremost, comfortable seating and decent Wi-Fi are staples of any lounge. Lounges often feature a variety of seating options, from plush armchairs to private cubicles. Whether you want to relax, catch up on work, or enjoy a meal, there's a spot for you. Speaking of meals, complimentary food and beverages are major. Most lounges offer some kind of food, which can vary from light snacks and appetizers to full buffets and a la carte meals. This is great value, especially if you consider the cost of regular airport food and drinks outside of the lounge, which is usually outrageously overpriced. And let's not forget about the beverages, from coffee and tea to cocktails and wine. There is something for everyone. I personally don't tend to drink alcohol before I fly. If you're curious about why, check out my long haul flights video to find out. But for anybody who likes the sauce, you're going to get the most bang for your lounge bucks exactly this way. Some lounges also have shower facilities, which are great if you're on a layover and you just got off a long-haul flight. It's a small luxury that can make a big difference in helping you arrive refreshed and ready to go. Pro tip, shower rooms are often reserved in advance, so ask about it as soon as you check into the lounge to make sure that you get a spot. Some lounges even offer spa services. I've had free foot massages in a couple of places. I had a back massage once, and a couple of times I've been in lounges with those massive massage chairs that totally envelop you and give you this full body massage. Some higher end lounges offer a wider range of spa services, including facials and other treatments, all usually for free, although sometimes you can pay extra for additional time or more involved services. Lounge perks like spa services and food are so enticing and delightful that I often plan to get to the airport earlier than I need to, just so I can enjoy the lounge as part of the experience. I always arrive early anyway to allow for possible delays at airport security, so it's additionally lovely to know that if I clear security quickly, I'll have an amazing lounge to hang out in. We're not even done with the lounge perks yet. Some lounges have full-on sleeping areas. These are quiet zones with reclining chairs or even beds that provide a peaceful environment to rest and recharge. Lastly, many lounges have dedicated areas for business travelers, with desks, power outlets, and sometimes even office supplies. But it's not all smooth sailing. A significant issue that lounges face today is overcrowding. These once serene spaces are now often packed, especially during peak travel times. It's partly due to the increased accessibility to lounges through various means, like credit card perks, which we'll get to in a minute. Once upon a time, only business class or first class passengers could access airport lounges. It's a very different story now, and to be honest, I've noticed the quality of some lounge experiences deteriorating in recent years to the point that some are barely a cut above the airport itself. Because of this, changes are being made, some of which are restricting the ways that people can get into lounges. I'll address some of these specific changes in a bit, as well as some surprising alternatives to lounges that you can use if you can't get into the lounge or if it's overcrowded. Now, let's talk about the 7 different ways that you can access airport lounges. The first and most obvious and easiest way is to have a business class or first class flight. When you travel on a business class or first class ticket, lounge access is often a key part of the package. It's not just an afterthought either, it's an integral part of the premium travel experience that airlines offer. The specific lounges that you can access with a business class or first class ticket are usually specific to the airline that you're flying with. In some cases, this means the amenities and services are tailored to reflect the airline's brand and level of service. This is especially true if you're flying out of that airline's airport hub. For example, the Thai Airways signature lounges in Bangkok, Turkish Airlines, Istanbul, which, by the way, is an incredible lounge, British Airways, London, etc. In some cases, if you have a first-class ticket, you'll get access to even more exclusive and luxurious lounges than what you can get into with a business class ticket. The next way to get into airport lounges is with airline elite status. Elite status is a gateway to a world of exclusive benefits, including upgrades, priority boarding, and of course, lounge access. Getting elite status ain't easy though. It's based on the frequency of your travel, the distance flown, and the amount spent on tickets. The more you fly with one particular airline, the higher the status you can achieve. Personally, I don't fly regularly enough with any one airline to get status. It's a lot of flying with just one airline. But if you do have elite status, you'll also have lounge access privileges. With each tier in an airline's loyalty program, the benefits get better. At lower tiers, you might get limited access, but as you climb higher, the doors start opening wider. For top tier members, lounge access is usually pretty comprehensive. This can include not only the airline's own lounges, but also partner airlines, especially if the airline is part of an alliance like Star Alliance, Oneworld, or SkyTeam. This means you can enjoy lounge access at airports all around the world, regardless of whether you're flying domestically or internationally. Similar to first-class ticket privileges, if you have super high elite status, it may give you entry into the most exclusive lounges with premium amenities. It's also worth noting that some airlines offer additional guest passes for lounge access to their elite members. This means that you can bring a travel companion into the lounge with you, regardless of which airline or class of ticket you're flying with on that day. Now, let's talk about credit card access. There are two ways that credit cards can get you lounge access. The first is an airline-branded credit card. These are cards that are partnered directly with airlines and often offer lounge access as a benefit. The type of access can vary significantly depending on the card and the airline. Some might offer a set number of passes per year, others might provide unlimited access. Most airline-branded cards that include lounge access also have an annual fee, so it's important to know that you'll be traveling in such a way that you can get use out of the lounges, as well as any other perks that that card offers. Naturally, the more premium the card, the higher the annual fee will be, and the more benefits you'll get. An example of an airline-branded card is the Delta SkyMiles Reserve Amex card. It's not cheap with a $550 annual fee, but the perks include access to exclusive Delta Sky clubs, as well as Centurion lounges. A less premium option is the United Explorer card, which costs $95 and gives you 2 passes per year to United clubs. In Canada, the best airline-branded credit card with lounge access is the TD Aeroplan Visa Infinite Privilege card, which costs $5.99 and gets you into any Maple Leaf lounge, in addition to a host of other benefits like priority boarding, free bags, etc. As you can see, airline-branded cards that get you into lounges are generally super premium credit cards. And in my opinion, they're only worthwhile if you regularly fly with that airline and out of their hub airports with the fancy lounges. But the lounges that they get you access to are also usually premium lounges that you can only get into with a business or first class ticket or elite status or that card. Personally, I don't fly with any one airline enough to take advantage of access to their lounges and to justify the cost of an airline-branded card. This is where premium travel credit cards that aren't specific to an airline come in. The levels of lounge access can vary depending on the card. Some might give you unlimited access to all lounges in the network, while others might give you just X number of visits per year with a fee for additional visits. It's important to read the fine print and understand the specifics of your card's lounge access benefits. Amex Platinum is one of the best cards for airport lounge access across the board in both the US and Canada. You'll get access to exclusive Centurion lounges, as well as lounges in a variety of partner networks that they refer to as the Global Lounge Collection. This includes Priority Pass, Escape, Plaza Premium, and others. You can basically assume that wherever in the world you are, there's probably going to be a lounge that you can get into. Other cards like the Chase Sapphire Reserve give you access to Priority Pass lounges around the world. We'll discuss Priority Pass in a minute. They're not the only card to offer this access, but they are among the more flexible options for it. Both of these cards are also pretty pricey. You don't just get these cards just for lounge access. There are plenty of perks with these cards. It's just important to know for yourself that you can get value from all of these perks to justify the annual fees. If not, I've got cheaper ways to get into lounges coming up, so stay with me. Canada has a credit card that hits a real sweet spot between the annual fee and travel value. It's the Scotiabank Passport Visa Infinite. It includes 6 passes per year to the Dragon Pass program, which I'll explain in a minute. It also has no foreign transaction fees, which makes it a great card to charge expenses to while you're abroad. If you're not sure what foreign transaction fees mean in the context of credit cards, check out my video with my top currency exchange advice. So earlier I alluded to some global lounge networks that some credit cards will give you free access to. But you don't need a special credit card to access these networks. You can join them directly. 2 popular lounge networks are Dragon Pass and Priority Pass. Both networks offer access to about 1,500 lounges worldwide with 3 tiered levels of membership. They have annual fees that give you access to the network, plus a certain number of free lounge passes per year. For additional lounge visits or to bring in guests, you pay a flat discounted fee of about $35 per visit. The trick with lounge network memberships is to be able to anticipate how much you'll fly in the coming year and how many of those flights will be in economy. If you fly in business class all the time, for example, on tickets booked with miles, as I often do, then you'll have lounge access anyway. If, however, you fly mostly in economy and you know that you'll be at an airport with one of these lounges at least X number of times per year, then the beefed up membership tiers could pay for themselves. If paying for a lounge network membership that you may or may not use doesn't float your boat, then you can just buy day passes to lounges on the spot. All you need is a boarding pass for a flight departing in the next 3 hours and a credit card to pay the one-time access fee. The Lounge Buddy app is one of the best ways to find lounges that offer day passes. The cost of a day pass varies, with prices starting at around $25, though admittedly those ones are real rare, and going up to about $80 depending on the lounge and its location. While that might seem like a lot of money, and it is, consider the following. 1. How much time do you have to kill before your flight? While most lounges say you can only get a maximum of 3 hours, I have had longer layovers where I've been allowed to hang in the lounge for a little bit longer than that. 2. If you weren't in the lounge, how much money would you spend on food and drinks? 3. How important are other lounge perks and benefits to you? Would a shower freshen you up? Does the lounge offer spa services? Do you just want a super comfy chair and decent Wi-Fi? Do you want to get some work done in a quiet and more secure environment? These may all be reasons to justify the cost of a lounge day pass. Now that we know how to access airport lounges, let's go over some essential tips and tricks to get the most from the experience. First up, read the fine print. Some basic business class tickets no longer come with lounge access. Credit cards are all very different in how they grant access to lounges and which lounges they allow access to, and for how many people. Priority Pass and Dragon Pass membership tiers are all different in how many free passes you can get and whether you can bring in guests. And the actual lounges themselves have different amenities. Some are better than others. Make sure that you're aware of any limitations or conditions to avoid some surprises at the lounge entrance. Now, let's talk about handling full lounges. These days, it's not uncommon to find a lounge at capacity, especially during peak travel times, and especially if it's a conglomerate lounge that represents multiple airlines and allows Priority Pass or Dragon Pass members as well. But if you encounter a full lounge, all is not lost. A few times I visited lounges with a sign saying that they're full and a lineup out the door. Every time the lineup moved pretty quickly, and I still got in with time to spare for a bite to eat and some downtime before my flight. Alternatively, there may be other lounges in the airport that your access methods might allow you to enter. I've also got a few creative alternatives to overcrowded lounges, which we'll get to in a second. My next essential tip is to check the lounge hours. Lounges have varying operating hours, and these might not always align with your flight times. It's especially important to check the opening hours for early morning flights or for late night layovers. Just recently, I found myself standing outside a lounge that closed at 8 or 9 p.m. I don't remember exactly when, and I had a midnight flight. I thought the lounge would be open until at least 10 or 11 p.m. since flights were still going out at that time, but no such luck. This next tip I'm about to share is something that caught me by surprise. Sometimes when you book a business class itinerary with points, not all the flights on that itinerary are actually in business class. I always make sure that the longest of the flights is in business class, but I don't mind if the shorter hops are in economy. What I didn't realize was that when I got off my long-haul flight and I had a 4-hour layover, the lounge wouldn't let me in because even though I just got off a business class flight and I was on a business class itinerary, my next flight was in economy. So, as much as I'm a fan of long layovers, which is something that I discuss in another video about layover tips, do be aware that you might not get lounge access if you have one of these mixed class tickets. So let's say you're not up for the crowded lounge or you don't have access. Here are a few other ways that you can get some rest before your flight. Airport sleeping pods or nap cabs are becoming more common. These private, compact spaces offer a place for you to rest and recharge. You usually pay for them by the minute or by the hour. For example, JFK Airport has Go Sleep pods. The rental cost varies, with an option to use the pod for free for the first 20 minutes, followed by a fee ranging from $10 to $15 per hour. Similarly, you have airport escape pods. These are quiet, soundproof cabins that you can rent to get some quiet time for work or relaxing. Minute suites are like micro hotel rooms that are attached to the airport that you can, as the name indicates, rent by the minute. Escape pods and minute suites are paid services. For some peace and quiet that doesn't cost, check out airport prayer rooms or quiet zones or meditation rooms or even yoga spaces. These spaces are ideal for reflection or a moment of peace. It's also important to observe proper etiquette in these areas, so avoid activities like using your laptop or talking on the phone or eating, as it might disrupt others. Sometimes not having lounge access is a blessing because some airports have pretty cool art exhibits and cultural displays. Some have observation decks open to the public that offer an entertaining view. And I'm seeing more and more waiting areas separate from the gates that have comfy lounge chairs and other amenities that make waiting for your flight a little bit nicer. And of course, there are always restaurants. While they may not offer the same quiet environment as a lounge, they do provide a space to sit and enjoy a meal or a drink. And if it's not too crowded, you may be able to set up your laptop to get some work done. So, what's in the future for airport lounges? It feels like a pendulum to me. Originally, they were luxurious spaces for premium cabin travelers to relax before their flight. That was it. Then when elite status programs started cropping up, elite members could also access lounges, even if they were flying in economy. From there, more and more ways to access lounges became available, which leads us to our current predicament where airport lounges are often overcrowded and the experience just isn't what it always used to be. I see two trends starting to happen to counteract this situation and to send the pendulum back the other way. One, lounges and lounge networks are being expanded and more are being built to accommodate the demand. Two, at the same time, they're tightening the belt on who can get in. Just the other day, I got notification that Delta Sky Club has made serious changes to who can get into their lounges. I've also seen changes to credit cards that used to allow lounge entry for the cardholder plus one or two guests, now restricted to only the cardholder. Other credit cards are reducing or eliminating lounge access, or they're introducing tiered programs. And I wouldn't be surprised if some lounges that offer day passes to the public may reduce or eliminate that service. Hopefully, the pendulum won't swing too far in the other direction before we all find a happy medium where lounge access is available to those who want it, and they continue to provide a premium service. In the meantime, there are more and more spaces outside of lounges to wait for your flight in comfort. One resource you might be interested in to find these spaces is a website called Sleeping in Airports. Simply look up the airport that you're going to be in, and they'll list all the different ways and places that you can relax before your flight. Oh, and if you want to keep getting lounge access, the best way continues to be with a business class or first class ticket. If you want to learn more about how my long-haul flights are in business class for less than economy prices, then watch my video about travel hacking. It's going to show up on the next screen. I'm Nora Dunn, aka the Professional Hobo, and I'll catch you next time.